Is the work of your organization making a difference, but you don't have the evidence to prove it? Are you collecting information already, but you're not sure how to make the most of it? Are you finding it increasingly hard to stand out from the crowd and win over funders and investors? If the answer is yes to any of these questions, then stay tuned. I'm Lisa, and I'm going to help demystify the topic of social impact measurement. Welcome to an overview of the common foundations of impact measurement. At their foundation, the many approaches and tools to measuring impact share the same 5 essential practices. I'm going to take you through each of those essential practices in this course. I'm going to be covering the main things you need to know to better plan, measure, manage, and communicate the difference your organization makes. Although this will serve as a broad introduction to the topic, I'll also be sharing some actionable insights you can use to improve your practice today. In a moment, I'll set the scene by introducing the topic. Then I'm going to cover the 5 foundations that should be common to all impact measurement approaches, regardless of what your organization does or the beneficiaries you help. Number 1, planning your intended change. Number 2, using performance indicators. Number 3, collecting useful information. Number 4, gauging performance and impact. And number 5, reporting on results. Sound good? Let's get going. Let's start off by exploring this concept of social impact measurement and what it means in practice. So the first and obvious question is, what's social impact measurement? Well, there are all sorts of definitions out there, but according to the Global Impact Measurement Project, what we're talking about is measuring and managing the process of creating social and environmental impact in order to maximize and optimize it. At this stage, though, just hold on to the idea that it's both about measuring and managing the changes that your organization can bring about in order to make an even bigger difference in your community and the environment. So, why do it? It may not be on the top of your list of priorities right now, but there is an increasing expectation that organizations should be able to measure, prove, and improve on the good work they do, particularly if the very reason your organization exists is to bring about social and environmental change. By getting better at planning, measuring, and managing your impact, you will start to see some important differences in your work. Here are some of the main benefits that we find. Boost your profile. You'll be able to use evidence to boost your profile by communicating your work in new and engaging ways. Attract stakeholders. Through having better evidence, you'll be able to attract customers, grant makers, social investors, and others to your work. Demonstrate accountability. With your evidence, you can be more transparent about what you're doing and delivering, and therefore more accountable to stakeholders. Motivate employees. Information can be empowering and motivating, used to help employees and volunteers understand the effects of their work and get recognition for their achievements. Make smart decisions. Finally, the knowledge gained can help you make better decisions about what works, where you should be targeting your resources, and how you can achieve even better results. So you're convinced then, right? Demonstrating the impact of your work can really help your organization to stand out from the crowd, make it more accountable, and ultimately make a bigger difference. But where do you start? And what do you need to do? There are many great frameworks, methods, tools, and techniques that you can use to help measure your impact. We call these the common foundations of impact measurement. The common foundations can be found in all the popular tools and approaches to impact measurement. Theory of change, sustainable livelihoods approach, logical framework approach, results-based planning, social return on investment, and demonstrating value, and more. By identifying these common foundations, we hope that you will have an easier time navigating your impact measurement options. Think about the common foundations as a minimum standard for how to do impact measurement without prescribing a particular tool or approach. The hope is that grant makers, donors, lenders, and investors will embrace these common foundations. Ideally, funders will require organizations to only demonstrate that they are covering the 5 essential practices, while leaving them to choose which tools and approaches they prefer. So what are these common foundations I've been talking about? They are the 5 essential practices I want to explore with you. Plan your intended change. Develop a simple plan that sets out how and why your work will bring about change. Use performance indicators. Use appropriate performance indicators to assess how well your work is carried out and what effects it has. Collect useful information. Collect relevant and useful information that will help to improve your work and demonstrate that you're making progress. Gauge performance and impact. Assemble and analyze data to gain new insights about what works and how well you are doing. Report on results. Report on your results clearly to produce a balanced account of your work and the difference it makes. The other critical aspect of social impact measurement is to consider how to involve stakeholders. Involving stakeholders is a crucial element of each of the foundational practices I described. It seems only logical that the people that care most or are affected most by your work should be involved in planning, measuring, and managing the effects. Involving these stakeholders can help you identify what is important about your work and therefore what you must measure. When I refer to stakeholders here, I'm talking about the people that are most affected by your work. They are your customers, beneficiaries, and community members. They are also your funders, board members, employees, and volunteers. So plan from the beginning. Who should be involved, when and how you'll involve them, and what resources you will need.